Photodio, 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 do do. All right, let's see if it's actually going to put me up on screen. There we go. All right, so today is Easter, and I was thinking to myself yesterday because I didn't have any kind of particular plan on anything to do today. So I was thinking to myself, well, do I have anything that I haven't opened up yet that would be good to open up for Easter, for like a special Easter thing? And then I remembered that I did have this Justice League Captain Carrot Glow in the Dark edition that I got like several months ago, and for whatever reason never got around to opening this up. And in fact, got a little dinged up at the top. I don't think it was like that when I got it. I think it just must have just must have gotten damaged sometime. Toy Bunny is here and says, "Happy Easter, Alan. Happy Easter to you too." Yeah, here's the artwork on the back. Got an image of Captain Carrot. Now, Captain Carrot was a character that was created back in the 1980s, and he was supposed to be kind of a funny animal character. And I believe it was Roy Thomas and Scott Shaw that created this guy. Scott Shaw, I follow him online. He does the Scott Shaw's Oddball Comics, which that's some fun stuff there. But he became rather a legendary comic book artist and did a lot of things. A lot of you younger readers might remember his Sonic the Hedgehog comics. Younger than me, that's not hard. Toy Bonnie says, "I woke up for the day and I saw the post saying Happy Easter on YouTube." Well, yeah, Happy Easter. So, yeah. I wasn't sure if I was going to do an episode today, but I also wasn't sure if I was going to do an episode on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, because I don't know how my week's going to go yet. But I figured I probably should try to do an episode today, since I'm not sure if I'll be able to do episodes on the next 3 days. Hopefully, at least some of those I'll be able to do some episodes on. Anyway, yeah, there's what the side of it looks like. Captain Carrot, Justice League, Glow in the Dark edition. This has got a QR code on there. I guess you can scan that if you want to. It probably just takes you to the Mcfarlane website. And then, since this is supposed to be like kind of a fancy, authenticated, limited edition, the 5,700 pieces. Yet, oddly enough, this guy was easier to get than the regular Captain Carrot action figure, and a lot less expensive, even now. And like I said, this is a figure that's been out for like some months. Even now, you can go on Amazon and find this guy for under $50, whereas the standard Captain Carrot figure is going for like $100. Which to me, it's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, they probably should have made more of this guy in the first place. The character of Captain Carrot was created in the early 1980s, and it was kind of a funny animal style book, drawn very much in like a cartoonish sort of style. But this guy, you can see they tried to do him in a little more of a realistic manner, at least as realistic as you can make a talking bunny rabbit. So he's got this plastic cape, and it's embedded underneath in the packaging, so that's why I'm having a hard time getting him out of here. You know, they seem to have designed this thing as like like they intended it to be a collector friendly package, that it should be easy to. Oh, he's got one more rubber tab around his waist that I didn't see, because it's literally slipped down in between his trunks and his abdomen. And but I don't think they were very successful at that. I feel like this is going to get messed up just from me like trying to pull this cape out of here. So it's like you see that like it's a black blister, not like the clear sort of blisters like we usually get. Bobby Wald is here and says, "Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too." But yeah, I think I kind of damaged it a little bit. Not too bad. Not as bad as I would have thought. But then, like, if it is supposed to be collector friendly package where you're supposed to be able to put it back in there, well, then you got to shove that cape back in there. I don't think they thought it through very well. Anyway, and then there is a figure stand, which does this glow in the dark? Looks like it glows in the dark. Yeah, I got my flashlight out for the occasion. Yep, it sure does. So that's kind of cool. And there's the trading card, Captain Carrot Glow in the Dark edition. But yeah, they were trying to draw him in this version to look a little more like he fits in with regular superheroes. I don't know, like when they did the first appearance of Captain Carrot, you know, he met Superman, and they just drew Superman in the usual style. I think it was Ross Andrew that was drawing Superman in that story, and Scott Shaw just handled the animal characters, and it worked just fine. So I think they probably could have just had him still looking like a cartoon character, like Roger Rabbit or something. Anyway, I got a friend on Facebook named Vincent Franklin. He follows me on Instagram too. And Vincent Franklin is the biggest fan of Captain Carrot that I know. He absolutely loves this character. It's like his favorite character. And he's a cool dude. So if Vincent Franklin happens to see this, I did want to give you a little bit of a shout out in case you happen to stumble across this video. Because I feel like I would be remiss in doing a video where I open up a Captain Carrot action figure if I did not mention the #1 Captain Carrot fan, at least that I know of. Very passionate about that character. Anyway, so yeah, that's what the front of the trading card looks like. This is what the back of the trading card looks like, and it's not a bio like we usually get. It's a certificate of authenticity. Since there's like less than 6,000 of this figure, they feel like that's an important thing to do. But it says Justice League, Glow in the Dark Edition, Certificate of Authenticity. This certifies that the limited edition worldwide product, Captain Carrot figurine, it's not a figurine. It's an action figure. That's a totally different thing. A figurine is like a statue. You know, like a Hummel figurine or like a Precious Moments. This guy has articulation. That's an action figure. It is authentic and officially licensed by Mcfarlane Toys. The figurine was created, developed, and designed by Todd McFarlane and his award-winning design group. All figures are individually hand-painted and sequentially numbered. Well, that's interesting. And this is number, you see, I have number 2930 of 5,700, and then it's got like a, it's not his actual signature, but it's got Todd McFarlane's a photographic reproduction of Todd McFarlane's signature. It says Todd McFarlane, founder and CEO of McFarlane Toys. So you don't get a bio of Captain Carrot. Screw you if you want that. It's not happening. All right. So, and they did redesign Captain Carrot's costume a little bit. You know, the older Captain Carrot costume was, well, it's more old school. He had like superhero trunks and all that kind of stuff, but it does still cover like the bases of like the Captain Carrot emblem with the C over the carrot. He's got a couple of little carrot clasps holding his cape on, and he's got like this texture to his suit because that's how they do things in the modern day. Got the carrots on his gloves and his boots. So, and something I noticed about this guy is his ears are articulated, so that's nice. So you can put a little motion into his ears if you want to have him moving from one side to the other. And again, since this is supposed to be a more realistic version of Captain Carrot, he's got like a lot of fur texture and things like that. Oh, we need to look at the figure stand too, because that looks like it also has glow in the dark on there. So make sure I get that lit up nice and well. Yeah, there we go. So maybe I can. It's kind of hard to put shadow on things when I got light coming from this direction, which I want to have light coming from this direction because I want you to be able to see the toy. And I got light coming from this direction from my computer monitor. But let's have a look at the figure itself. Now, this figure, I think he's actually molded in glow in the dark plastic, so he should glow a little bit better than just the simple glow in the dark paint. And you can kind of see that, right? Look a little bit. If I put him under my desk, I think it might just be glow in the dark paint, which that's disappointing to me. I would have hoped for glow in the dark plastic, but that does not seem to be the case. Get it right there into his face. Yeah. So, but you can see you can still see it glows in the dark even in this kind of light. So he's got a few extra hands, and on the figure he has a pointing hand on his left hand and a gripping hand on his right hand, and then he comes with a solid fist for the left hand and two kind of open hands for either hand. These look to be identical, and you can see that he's got 3 fingers because again he is a cartoon character. And then a thumbs up hand. So that's the extra hands he comes with. Doesn't come with any other extra accessories besides that. His cape has kind of a texture to it too. It almost looks kind of like a leathery sort of texture. So they definitely put a lot of detail into this guy. But like, yeah, he's got all this texture to his superhero outfit. Like a Zack Snyder kind of. If Zack Snyder made a Captain Carrot movie, he'd wind up looking like this. He's got like this no nonsense look to his face too. Like this is not a rabbit you want to mess with. And if you look underneath his cape, he does indeed have a little furry cottontail. His little rabbit tail. It's not articulated. It's just kind of glued onto the trunks. So be careful with that. He's got knee pads. I don't know what he needs knee pads for, but he's got them. And he's even got toes on his boots. So he's got little rabbit feet. You know how lucky rabbit's feet are like a good luck charm? And I don't understand that because the rabbit had 4 of them and it obviously didn't do him any good because, now he's dead. So I don't want to be morbid, but that's how it is. So let's talk about his articulation a bit. So Captain Carrot, disappointingly, cannot look up very far at all. That's about as far up as he can look. You look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. And like I said, his ears are articulated. That's a ball joint there, so you can get it to move around in various directions, which is good because that gives a little more expression to the figure, I think. That was a really nice touch. They didn't need to do that, but they did, and that deserves some props, I think. And he is like a big old bulky action figure. Like just to compare, where did I have Superman? Because I had like this is kind of like the default Superman figure these days. This is the body that they usually like to use for Superman nowadays. But you can see he's even like a bit more muscular than Superman himself. So he's a big guy. Let's see. The arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. And of course, they've got that cool Mcfarlane butterfly joint thing going on. So they can wobble all around whichever way you want to. He's got a bicep sole, so bicep rotates all around. He's got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows, which I feel like is pretty good considering how muscle bound he is. He's got the cool Mcfarlane torso articulation, so he can lean from one side to the other, about that far, back and forth, about that far, and then that should rotate all the way around, but it seems like it's kind of, it only rotates so far around because of just the bulk of the chest. So, and then of course he rotates all the way around the waist, and then that's got its own kind of back and forth to it, frontwards and backwards like that. Captain Carrot can kick up about that far, and he's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. I should point out that as you saw on the artwork, Captain Carrot usually has a yellow suit, and they chose to make this a white suit, which is part of the reason I was thinking that this was going to be glow-in-the-dark plastic. Instead, it seems to be glow-in-the-dark paint. But I was kind of figuring if maybe they just molded the whole thing in glow-in-the-dark plastic. But if it's paint, they could have just put paint over the yellow, and I think it still would have worked fine. They could have even molded it in yellow glow-in-the-dark plastic. Such things exist. So I don't know why they didn't. But oh well. So yeah, he's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. There's no boot cut, but it's a Mcfarlane figure, so he's got the cool Mcfarlane ankle articulation. So it rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the foot, and where the foot meets the ankle, or where the ankle meets the foot, and where the ankle meets the shin. I'm getting all mixed up. And he's got toe articulation just to show off. But honestly, I feel like if there's any figure that it's warranted to have the toe articulation, it's a figure that actually has toes. So not just like the toe of the boot, but like actually like individual toes. So anyway, he's a really impressive looking figure. It is too bad that they weren't able to give him a yellow suit like he's supposed to have, but he still looks really cool. I'm kind of tempted to just go over this with like some clear yellow paint. Make him a little more accurate. But considering how there's like less than 6,000 of these guys in existence, I mean, like I'd feel kind of guilty like, doing anything to him. And they said he's hand painted, but I don't know what hand painted means in this context. Like hand painted could just be like they put down the stencil and spray over it like that. I doubt there's somebody in a factory with a little brush doing all that stuff. So, but he's a pretty cool figure. And like I said, the regular Captain Carrot figure, the one that should have been mass produced, that one seems a lot more difficult to find and a lot more expensive when you do. So, like I said, you can find this guy on Amazon right now for like $40. And that's a pretty good deal, I think, considering everything. Considering how he's a lot cheaper than the regular Captain Carrot figure. And considering how this is one that's like should be a lot more rare, but I guess there's just not as much demand for it, probably because he has got a white costume instead of a yellow costume. I don't think that really helped. And you would think that with this being such a popular figure, they'd probably make more Captain Carrot figures, like maybe make one more in the original Scott Shaw kind of style, maybe make some of the other characters from that comic strip, like comic book, Pig Iron, Yankee Poodle, Rubber Duck, Little Cheese, Alley Cadabra. It was a pretty funny little comic. Rubber Duck was actually in his civilian identity. He was a movie star named Bird Reynolds. It was a pretty funny comic book. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it for Captain Carrot. Like I said, I picked him up like a few months ago, and I would have figured he would have been more expensive when I went to look on Amazon to see what it was going for nowadays, but I guess not. Like I said, the regular version of Captain Carrot is more expensive. It's crazy. But yeah, maybe if you see this video and you think this is an interesting figure, I'd say at least time of recording, he's only like $40 on Amazon right now. So go ahead and go pick one up before it gets too expensive. But anyway, that's it for Captain Carrot. I think I don't have really much else to say about it. It's a nice figure. They did a really good job with him. Uh, I'm glad to have him in my collection. So that's pretty much it. Next episode, I'm not sure when the next episode is going to be, but when I do a next episode, uh, I don't know what I'm going to open up yet. I haven't really decided. So I guess just stay tuned. If you want to see what I do next, whatever that is, make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below right there. Leave a comment. I like it when you leave comments. YouTube really likes it when I say like and subscribe. So I like to say like and subscribe because that helps me with the algorithm. And of course, that's like super important because that gets the videos out there to more people, and more people watch the videos, and then more people like and subscribe. And I don't know what the end goal is with that, but I like having more subscribers and more viewers, and more of you cool people that show up for the chat and in the comments and all that kind of fun stuff. But I always like it when people leave comments. Anything that helps with the algorithm, that's always important. So, but that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go try to take a nap before I go to work. And Monday and Tuesday, I'm working early, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get any episodes out on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. This is I've just been so busy lately. Just been so much going on. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.